Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the English News Edition brought to you live from RTD channel. The headlines for tonight are: food aid from the head of state Ismail Mogile to the disaster victims in Beledweyne. And on the latest news in the regions, in Kenya, at least three confirmed dead after a building collapsed. Let's get into the details now. New shipment of humanitarian assistance in Somalia following the last bad weather caused by the cyclone Sagar and the rise of the river Shabelle that came off the bait. The people living along the river have been severely affected. They had to abandon their villages and their flooded localities given the scale of the damage that has displaced thousands of people. The Egyptian government is continuing its efforts to provide assistance to its victims of natural disaster. It is in this sense that the head of state Ismail Omar Guelleh has sent a convoy of humanitarian aid in the localities of Kubhanle and Defo, placed under administrative jurisdiction of the city of Beledweyne. The first emergency humanitarian aid consists of food, blankets, and medicines. More than 300 families receive sacks of rice, spaghetti leg cartons, flour, sugar, dates, as well oil. Lieutenant Arab, part of the Hill 5 Battalion, handed over on behalf of the head of state Ismail Omar Guelleh assistance to local elected officials in the presence of the governor of the Beledweyne region. And during the distribution of the food aid granted by the President of the Republic Ismail Omar Guelleh to the disaster victims in Beledweyne, the Republic of Djibouti and the President Guelleh have largely been thanked by their constant effort in favor of the disaster victims. On their side, the authorities of the region of Beledweyne, including the elected officials and its governor, did not fail to thank the head of state for his support, which comes at a time when the population was in a great need. They also thanked the Hill Walal Battalion deployed in Beledweyne for their constant solidarity action to relieve the population. Let's recall that Djiboutian Army, a member of the AMISOM forces deployed in Somalia, called Battalion Hill Walal, is based in Beledweyne to secure and stabilize the Hiran regions. The Minister of Health, Dr. Jamal Mokiye, today received in his office Koji Unitani, Ambassador of Japan, accredited in the Republic of Djibouti. The encounter focused on ways and means to strengthen the existing cooperative relationship between the two countries, particularly in the health field. This visit took place in the presence of the Interim Secretary General Saeed Guelleh, PLT Hospital General Director Hussein Mohammed Hussein, as well Director of the Health Region Ahmed Saeed Asawi. This visit followed the minister and the Japanese diplomat to discuss ways and means and the widely priority areas in the field of health in the Republic of Djibouti. The Japanese ambassador announced to the minister the forthcoming arrival in Djibouti of advanced medical equipment for cardiology as well as surgery service at PLT Hospital. The cost of this equipment is estimated at nearly $2 million. Through this help, Japan will strengthen the resources of the surgical as well as cardiology teams, and according to the ambassador, this equipment will be available as early as next November. A team of Japanese trainers will be in charge of supervising the Djiboutian specialists who will have to handle this advanced equipment. They will thus ensure a transfer of competence. The Minister of Health, Dr. Jamal Mokiye, did not fail to thank the Ambassador Koji Unitani and reaffirm the importance for the government of Djibouti of the multi-form cooperation. In his speech, the Minister of Health informed us about the project signed between this department and the Japanese government concerning the acquisition of interventional surgical equipment in the field of cardiology with a market value of $2 million, which will be available during the months of November 2018 in Djibouti. The Ministry of Health yesterday handed over transport vehicles to various hospitals in the capital as well, company vehicles to medical specialists on duty. A total of 14 vehicles were handed over. 4 transport vehicles have been acquired to strengthen the drug supply and distribution network. They are intended for the central purchasing of medicines in particular in the reference hospitals. Are for the other 10 vehicles, they are intended for specialist doctors and administrative staff working in the different structures of the Department of Health. The handed over ceremony took place in the presence of the Interim Secretary General Dr. Saeed Gili, the Director General of the PLT Hospital, Hussein Mohammed Hussein, the Director General of Balbala Hospital, Musa, as well the Director of the Pneumology Hospital, Musa Farah Gili, the Director of the Hospital, Dar Hanan, Mrs. Zahra Musa, as well as several executives of the Ministry of Health. The goal of this initiative is to strengthen the care fleet, but also to improve the distribution network for medicines and equipment intended for hospitals in the capital as well as the interior regions. In a word on this occasion, the Minister of Health did not fail to urge officials of the recipient entities to take great care of these vehicles through the implementation of an adequate maintenance plan. The Minister of Health, Dr. Jamal Meukiye, in his speech also said that his department wanted in this action to strengthen the vehicles fleet intended for medical specialists and senior executives in the various reference hospitals, but also to improve the circuit of transport and supply of medicines and equipment throughout the entire regions. And now in Geneva, the Minister of Labor in charge of the reform of the administration, Hassan Idriss Samriye, is in Geneva where he participated in the work of 107th session of the International Labor Conference. The minister is leading a large delegation of trade unionists and private sector representatives. And on the sidelines of the conference, the Minister of Labor had an encounter with his Kuwaiti counterpart. Discussion focused on job opportunities in Kuwait for young Djiboutians. The Kuwait Minister of Social Affairs, Labor, Plan as well Development, Hinda Al-Subaih, immediately assured his Djiboutian counterpart of her commitment to strengthen collaboration in the field of labor, migration, education as well health. In addition, the Minister of Labor also met the Director General of the Arab Labor Organization, Faiz Ali Al-Mutairi, who immediately congratulated the government of Djibouti for the ratification of the 8th Arab Convention on Freedom as well trade union rights. The Djibouti Minister of Labor did not fail to express his thanks to the Director General of the Arab Labor Organization and welcome the strengthening of cooperation between his institution as well the Republic of Djibouti. The Vocational Technical Baccalaureate examination and the Study Certificate examination started simultaneously yesterday in the regions of Tajora and continue till Tuesday tomorrow. All the candidates were grouped together in the Technical High School of Tajora to pass their test. The number of candidates taking part in this examination is 106 young boys and girls. Candidates presented themselves for the Professional Study Certificate examination as well industrial as well tertiary sectors. It should be noted that the candidates applying for the BEF industrial exams have already written in the form of a test during the examination. These are practical tests of implementation. In addition to the examiners, on each examination site is an assistant to the president of the jury. He is responsible for overseeing the smooth running of this event. It should be noted that a delegation composed of a representative of the Tajura Region Prefecture as well a regional education directorate carry out a control tour to ensure the smooth running of these examinations. 150 families living in the vicinity of Lac Assal have received food assistance offered by the senior executives of Chinese companies who exploit soil from Lac Assal for its extraction, packaging as well export. These 3 companies being China Harbour, Djibouti Chemical Industries as well Salt Investment. The distribution of food took place under the supervision of Habib Jilani, Deputy Prefect of the region, the Sub-Prefect of Lac Asal, Mohammed Udum, as well as customary chiefs. Deputy Prefect of Tajura, Habib Jilani, did not fail to thank the leaders of Chinese companies for their support to poor families living around Lag Asal. The beneficiaries of this assistance were delighted to benefit from this provision in the middle of this blessed month of Ramadan. In sport files now, under the auspices of the State Secretary for Youth and Sport, the Djiboutian Federation of Dakar to Rio closed last night the Ramadan tournament launched since May 18. The notoriety and enthusiasm of this discipline means that at this stage the number of its members has particularly doubled since last year, and the tournament has been more interesting, more young people. And after several days of a competition, it was last night that the Federation was able to organize its final at the CDC of PK12 in the presence of its director. The president of the Federation, Daoud Ali, did not fail to thank first of all the members of the Federation for the excellent work done in the organization, as well the success of this tournament, as well thanked the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport for his constant commitment to the development of these disciplines. And on the regional news now, Ugandans will no longer be able to import a car older than 15 years following a legislation passed by its parliament. Let's hear it more from Mohamed Adan.
The Ugandan parliament passed a law banning the import of vehicles over 50 years, a measure to fight against environmental pollution and to reduce road accidents attributed to old cars. The issue of environmental pollution and road safety is at the center of Uganda's debate. This week, the country observed 3 days of national mourning after a bus crash killed more than 20 people last week. Kampala is considered one of the most polluted cities in Africa. However, importers of cars are warning that the banning of used vehicles will lead to job losses. To encourage Ugandans to buy more recent cars, parliamentarians have abolished an environmental tax on cars under 8 years old. New cars are more expensive because of the additional taxes of more than 15%. Last year, Uganda's imported an average of 2,500 used cars per month.
In Kenya now, at least 3 people have been confirmed dead and several others are feared trapped after a 5-story building collapse in a residential area of Nairobi, a local media report said on Sunday.
Kenya, at least 3 confirmed dead after building collapsed. At least 3 people have been confirmed dead. Several others may be trapped after a 5-story building collapsed in a residential area of Nairobi. Local media reported Sunday. Eyewitnesses said the residents rushed to the scene to help the rescuer before they arrived, digging the rubble of the buildings with bare hands. They would have saved a man and a woman who died later in the hospital. Former Governor Evans Kidero said in June 2017 on the scene of the collapse of a building in a residential area of Nairobi that at least 13,000 to 40,000 of a building in a residential area built without permissions in the Kenyan capital were threatened. Kenya has experienced similar tragedies in the past. A total of 49 people died in April 2016 when a 6-story building in the poor neighborhood of Huruma collapsed during a heavy night shower.
Madagascar's Prime Minister Olivier Mahafali has resigned in an effort to solve a political crisis ahead of elections due later this year. Last month, the Constitutional Court ordered the president to form a new government with a prime minister supported by all political parties. That has still not happened, but the resignation of the prime minister is being seen as a positive step. Last week, the defense minister said if a solution cannot be found, the the military will intervene. There has been a growing concern that there is a risk of a repeat of the 2009 political crisis that badly damaged Madagascar's economy. And on the international scene now, Moscow welcomes World Cup 2018 trophy less than 2 weeks before the world's biggest football championship kickoff. Russia's capital, Moscow, presented the World Cup trophy to the public. German football star Lothar Matthäus unveiled the golden prize together with the Russian and FIFA officials in Manizia Square next to the Kremlin. Russia will host the 2018 World Cup finals in 12 venues spread across 11 cities, which open with the host playing Saudi Arabia in Moscow Luzhniki Stadium on June 14. North Korea shakes up military leadership as Trump-Kim summit nears. North Korea top 3 military officials have been replaced ahead of an historic summit between leader Kim Jong-un and U.S. President Donald Trump, according to multiple reports. All 3 appears to have been replaced by younger Kim loyalists, part of an ongoing transformation of the country's political as well as military establishment since the young leader took the power in 2011. So that's it for the news. Thanks for being with us on RTD channel.